talk, and it is called Reaching Digital Youngsters. First of all, welcome to the stage our moderator, Tarmo Virki, journalist, founder of Co-Founder magazine. Round of applause.
Hello.
You can actually find his good work around the venue. Look for the Co-Founder magazine. Next up, representing Delphi, Jānis Sildniks, head of social media and journalist at Delphi. And a TikTok user. And the second and only TikTok user in this room is Rokas Kondratas, co-founder and CEO of Video Stars LT. Gentlemen, the floor is yours.
Hello. I forgot my camera. I'm making content, you know.
So is it always with you?
Yeah, it's my third hand.
At home?
Yeah.
In the evening?
Yeah.
In the bedroom?
Don't tell to my wife.
In a shower. Is it waterproof? You can take it in the shower.
Yeah. Especially today.
There's a
Great start.
I think there's a reason why I'm not on TikTok.
Okay.
There's actually a reason why I'm on TikTok.
Or why you're now off TikTok, right? Basically, let's do a short introduction round. What kind of media you guys have done? I can start. I'm old school journalist. Newswires, Reuters for many years. Launched a magazine, print. Started my career in media in print. Of course, not writing stories on typewriters, but using digital on the kind of the transformation already from the start. But what about you guys?
Well, maybe I will make a more like an introduction about who I am and what I'm doing here. So I'm co-founder of company Video Stars, and this is kind of interesting company because we are the only one this type of company in the whole Baltic states. We work directly with YouTube. Well, we have a contract with YouTube. And that contract let us work with YouTube creators, help them monetize and grow their channels. So, well, for past 6 years, I was working in this kind of video type production and publishing sphere. And this summer, company Video Stars was acquired by whole Delphi group. So now we are part of Delphi. Hi, colleague. Yeah.
But basically, as a middleman, you're kind of bank, right?
Yeah.
You take the money from the client, sell the service of someone else,
no.
and take the cut, right? No?
If I would pass my wallet to Tarmo, then you will take a cost from me.
Of course.
You take the money
definitely. But it's my preference, it's not the company's.
Okay.
We are, on the one hand, we are like a middleman, but on the other hand, we add some kind of, maybe we'll talk later, some kind of value to the channels that we work with. And at the moment, we have 170 YouTube channels under our wing, under our network. It's called MCN, Multi-Channel Network. So, well, we are not just a traditional middleman. We are like more like an agency type of business, I would say.
Okay. And you?
Well, you told that you're an old school media person, so I'm not experienced enough to be an old school media person, but I'm old school social media person. So I'm running, I'm dealing with this, campaigns on social media since MySpace. My first campaigns was held exactly there. So it's quite a time ago, and afterwards I've worked with the different projects and everything with the Twitter, Facebook, and so on. And until 5 years ago, Delphi asked me to join their social media team, and now I'm working there. And on the free time, sometimes I also write something as a journalist.
So basically, running the Delphi MySpace page, right?
Exactly. We are the biggest media brand on MySpace. It's not actually dead yet. You can still log in there, but
really?
It's like being in a desert. Actually, last month I entered the MySpace just to take a look what Rupert Murdoch has done there, because he reinvented the place. It's still great.
And the Delphi Second World page?
What?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Basically, the platforms kind of come and go, of course.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to be on social media, but it doesn't mean that you're on the particular platforms. You're all the time trying new ones and leaving the previous ones go.
I think our kind of question for the panel is where are the young people? I mean, my kind of young people stories from the home. I think yesterday, my 14-year-old daughter was posting on Instagram pictures of her article in the local newspaper. So she was horribly proud, taking the print pictures digitally, putting it on Instagram and sharing digitally with her friends. I mean, for me, it's kind of showing how the, I don't know, convergence at its best or something.
Yeah, it is so. And also the question is, where are these young people on social media? I would say that they're mostly everywhere, but it's really difficult to get them there, you know, to catch their attention.
Yeah, and it definitely depends on the platforms. Well, we always have some kind of statistics, so we can take a look in analytics and see, do we have those kind of people that we want to reach. So I don't know if some of you heard last presentation from Irmantas. He talked a bit about statistics, about YouTube statistics in Latvia particularly. So trying to reach people, especially younger, I would say there are two factors. One, knowing the platform where they are already located, and another one, producing content that they are already consuming. So I would say there are like two factors. If it's TikTok right now, and if it's trendy, you have to understand what kind of content you have to produce, and then try to reach those kind of people, youngsters, for example. Instagram the same, YouTube the same. Just knowing the platform, but we have to go to YouTube because statistics shows that lots of people, young people, are there. Not even the young people, as you saw from statistics that Irmanta showed, till the age 55, the reach of YouTube is greater than any local television, TV3, LTV1. Yes, this is local one. Yeah, it's greater reach. So people are already there. Youngers also, but you have to understand the content, what they are consuming, and you have to give them particularly that content.
A little bit to add, I totally agree with you, and I recently also read research, I think it was from Reuters Institution in collaboration with Oxford, and they also they were searching where media can reach the youngsters, and the conclusion was, for example, about Instagram. Young people are there, but they don't want to just have you as a media on Instagram. They don't want to have your content there because on Instagram they're searching for friends, not for media. They're searching somewhere else for media.
So it might be a question how to be like a friend or more like a friend or making content like a friend. If this is the case.
Is it a bit creepy?
Well, on the one hand, but on the other, we have one, well, not one, but I can say, I can give you one example from Lithuania about the company. You definitely have here Tele2, yeah. Yes, carrier. Yep. And do you have a prepaid cards like Pildik? Yeah, the same.
Well, not the same name, but in general, yeah.
What is the name?
I have no idea.
If you mean the phone cards.
Yeah, phone cards, but okay. So you have the same, like it's almost the same. So well, the approach that Tele2 went with YouTube. They have, by the way, YouTube channel in Lithuanian language with more than 100,000 subscribers, and that's a lot, and without any paid advertisement. So how did they do that? Yeah, 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's a lot in our countries with such a small people living here and understanding our very hard languages. So
I mean,
This-
Estonian is not hard. Mitte mingisugust probleemi.
yeah, I know one word there. So they collaborated with YouTubers that already have their own YouTube channels, and they are quite big, and let them run companies' YouTube channel and produce content for them. So this like a project already going for more than 1.5 year, and they are not stopping, and it's awesome. Now they are like rock stars in summer, going around Lithuania, different like towns, making like meetup with fans and so on. They are really rock stars, and that's how the company, the business, incorporated social influencers that already have presence on YouTube and like a baggage to their own needs.
But what kind of content is that? Is that content for young people?
Yeah,
which
it's
filled
yeah,
with funny
this is good.
jokes and
This is like a they have 5 different influencers, 1 girl and 4 different guys, and they all are different. But the audience that they're trying to reach, and all the idea was to reach people under the age of 18, and that's what they did. And they like statistics shows that, and also like meetings with subscribers shows that. So the 5 different influencers, girls doing more like a vlog type about life, 2 guys, their brother, they are always doing like a prank type of things. 1 is a gamer, like proper normal gamer, he's gaming always, and another one is more like a vlog type of style. So they gave them office, gave them like they're paying them monthly salary. They have own space decorated with like their own needs, bought some kind of things, and yeah, that's the approach that Tele2 went, and that's how they are winning attention of youngers in YouTube.
Basically, and you guys are middlemen, no?
No, but well, I helped as a producer to run this thing, and for 5 months, as I remember, I was running as a main producer.
Okay, but from the media perspective, I mean, Tele2 is kind of linked to the media world. But if we try to think about, I don't know, we're on a Delphi stage. Does Delphi have a TikTok channel?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
And we are about every second to hit our second 1,000 followers during the last week. But here's the thing, that when it comes to media, and also the research has shown that, and also I have also seen in my experience that the young kids don't want to be reached out as a young kids. It's enough in the world of adults trying to make funny stuff for kids. I remember when I was a kid, the best thing was if somebody talked to me like an adult about things that I want to speak of. And that actually shows in our TikTok channel, where we have some funny stuff going on Delphi, some funny clips and so on, some comedy stuff. We post that also on TikTok. It works fine, but then we have some serious content about things that young people might be interested in, and they consume that content a lot more. So the main message I see here is stop talking to the kids like they are somehow mentally damaged or something, because they're not.
I mean, totally true. But why are you on TikTok? I mean,
why not?
I mean, as a media house, I mean, you're selling the eyeballs of those 11-year-olds to the advertisers, or what's the logic there?
Well, here's my logic to all of this. Because when we talk about digital native, we think about the kids that are born in this internet world, that they are so good in the internet that they doesn't need actually to have any lectures on how to use it or so on. But also the recent activities going on on the news and so on, the spreading of false news and so that kind of stuff shows that kids has a lack of critical thinking. And also the research shows that. This is a really important part because as a media, we go where these kids are stored. We don't have any traffic from them. We just show them that we are there, we are making content, and when they will be old enough to start searching for real news, they will probably come to us because we have
built a relationship.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't fully believe in the idea of the digitally native because I mean, you could see this guy here trying to be digitally native with his phone, right? It is kind of weird when the digital and analog
hashtag
worlds
okay,
meet.
boomer.
It's kind of weird when the digital and analog worlds meet. I mean, we are all here physically, except for those guys who are watching it on a Facebook channel of yours or...
There's actually a term for these kind of people. Those are old people trying to be on the internet. Those are digital immigrants.
Or digitally aliens, right? Could
That's
also
a new one.
Yeah.
We might use it.
Please, be free. Take it over.
No copyrights. We all know that.
Yeah, no copyright. No, doesn't exist. But the idea I'm kind of chasing here is how the logic is there that we kind of try to, as a media house, you try to kind of create the trust early enough in a weird channels. I mean,
that's not weird. Let's face it. I mean, when Twitter came on, everybody was like, "Oh, that's like a blogging only in 140 characters. What's the point of that? That's stupid." When Instagram came, everybody's posting pictures of his food. That's stupid. When the Facebook came in, everybody was like, "Oh, why do we need that? That's stupid." So now TikTok comes in, everybody says that, "Oh, what are those videos? That's stupid." So we all know that it's going to work because everybody's thinking that's stupid.
Yes, the first presidents and prime ministers who will be there will probably win a lot of votes, right? I could see the U.S. next elections, Donald Trump doing the TikTok campaign.
He would also do all of those challenges because since we are on TikTok, we haven't done any of those challenges, and we haven't done anything that I consider stupid. But we're posting some normal content that we are posting also on Facebook and also on Instagram, and those kids, they're following us, so which means that they really want to consume real content. We're giving them.
Can we take any questions from the audience? Anybody? This gentleman here in the middle wants to talk about TikTok.
Sure.
About YouTube.
I just have to steal one of your microphones here.
So, or death of YouTube, right? Just imagine what would happen to his business.
Hello. So I would like to ask Yanis, like, what do you think of the Washington Post TikTok? Because their approach is kind of like opposite to yours. Basically, they're just like making, the same memes, playing along the TikTok game, making fun of it. They say they are trying to make news on it, but don't really.
Washington
I've seen your TikTok. You actually are trying to make news on TikTok. So what do you think about it? But on the other hand, they have a lot more followers. But then again, it's Washington Post.
Thank you about the pun. I know that Washington Post might have more followers than we do. But just give me a time a little bit. We're only there for a couple of weeks now. I think that's one approach. Because they have probably, the Washington Post, they have probably had some 10 or 15 meetings when they have figured out about their approach to TikTok. At the moment, we are not just trying our luck, seeing what's happening. And I think that their approach is having to gain more followers. And then when they will have enough of them, they will just give them real news between those funny videos, which is one of the ways that we can do it. At the moment, we are now, reaching in the darkness and seeing what's happening there. We are going the safe way.
What's next? What's next after TikTok? What's the next platform you're looking at?
Oh no, it's enough a platform for me. We're looking at platforms that we could get rid of,
Like Twitter or?
Well, Twitter is still alive in Latvia. We still have a Latvian social network, Draugi MLV. Still there are people living in there. And I think that it's going to last for a few more years, but I don't know. From time to time, there are some weird applications coming on. There was also a big tryout of an application called Vero. so was a Instagramish like picture. We were also there, but no one knew that. Just in case if that goes like a thing, then we would have been there. So I think it's important to try to catch the wave, and in case that goes big, then it's good that you're there first.
I've noticed this morning at Financial Times, Jimmy Wales, the Wikipedia founder, had launched a VT Social, a new social network, but it's not, of course, for kids. We're talking about the youngsters here.
Yeah.
So it has to be coming from Asia, it has to be videos and basic needs for the youngsters, right?
Probably I haven't get to know it yet.
Any more questions from the audience?
I have a question from my side as well. One approach is just being on the channel where the kids are. So that's good. That first base is covered. How do us folks here who don't know nothing about youngsters, how can we talk about relative things that are relative to them? In my practice, for example, I had to talk about open door days, which is in general a boring event. What I did, I incorporated back in those days. Kendama was a thing. I saw in our local mall kids with kendamas on their necks, walking around like gangsters, and I was like, oh, so I incorporate this. But that was like just a small thing that I caught up. How do you do this professionally? How do you take all those things that youngsters really want to see and incorporate them, not just being on the social network? Is there like an approach to that? Do you have to make children to understand children?
Yes. I think by definition you have to. I think the weirdest startup I've ever seen was a team of 5 guys, all of them around 20 years old, trying to build a baby stroller. And when I was coaching them, I was asking them that, so any of you have kids? No. Does any of you have, younger sisters or sisters or brothers who could be put on stroller? No. So they had no idea what they were doing. But more seriously, on the social media side.
Well, when it comes to this kind of communication, then I think you're always, as a company, one step from being that old weird guy with a baseball cap backwards and with a skateboard in hand,
beard, right?
And a beard being in a skate park saying, "How do you do, fellow kids?" That's and when that happens, then there's no way back. You will be never ever taken seriously. So I can't remember who said this, but if you think that you need kendamas in your business, then don't take kendama in your hand. Get some credible person from a kid's perspective and pay him money and get him to do this kendama so you won't look stupid.
So there's a solution for you.
Buy a kid, okay.
Yes, and get a kid, yeah. Here on the corner.
I hope it's not for me.
Hello.
It's about you too.
My name is Konstantin, I'm CEO Delphi, so it will be a question for all of you. I have such honor to work in youngster radio station 1 decade ago. And actually we have been thinking that when our radio station became older and all our audience became older and they will became older, so they come to a next, from 20 years old, they become to 30 years old, and this radio station became more and more popular. What has happened? After 24 years, almost all of our listeners left this radio station, switch on adult formats. So the question is, we are talking right now about young people and trying to find how to deliver our message to young platforms. But I have a question for all of you. Do you think that these young people will try to change all medias, all industries, and in future we will read news only in Snapchat or some kind of such formats, or just all these people became they grown up and actually they forget about TikTok and they open old newspaper, switch on old radio, switch on old TV, etc. So maybe my question a little bit funny, but at the same time we are talking that these formats all the time will be for youngsters, but when people become older, they will come to classical formats. What is your opinion about that?
It's a really interesting point.
I would have to say that they will use social media for the rest of their lives only because that would make my job more credible for my boss.
But the channels will change, so he needs to invest in the new channels. But on the same point, I mean, I've always thought radio will die. I mean, why on earth do you need radio stations? You have the television, you have the social networks, and then you just broadcast voice only? What the fuck? But they're still alive. I mean, some of them have died, but in general, they're still alive.
Yeah. Some of them are alive, but more like a deadly alive, I would say.
Because you offer picture.
Yeah, I offer picture. But also on my career, I mostly listening to podcasts and to Spotify. Like, I don't use radio. I'm 33 years old. I'm not like very young. I'm going to like older. Well, I'm not old as you are, of course. Yeah. So I don't know. Do my preferences will change? Will I skip the Spotify and podcast and back to the radio? I don't know. I think not. And for example, I'm not watching television at home, not because it's like trendy, but I'm just like watching too much YouTube. Yeah, but I'm using television as a screen to tethering what I'm watching on phone, streaming over there, and if some or more interesting shows and series I will find on Netflix, on YouTube and so on, going and growing older, I think I will adapt the same pattern. I will not back to TV3 or some kind of this type of channel just because I'm old. This is just my predictions. We don't have any kind of analysis yet because this is very new thing. This never have happened yet. But I don't think that we, being older, will be the same as our fathers or grandfathers. Talking about appearance, I think I will use Adidas sneakers when I will be like 70 years old. I think so. But, well, we will see.
There are two things that came into my head from this whole thing that I just heard. The first thing that I just thought about is that, well, when I was a kid, I read the same newspapers that my parents did. And I watched the same TV channels that my parents watched. And I think that's mostly for everybody in our age and older. This media consumption traditions goes, you know...
in a family.
Yeah. And if the current millennials already has kids, so they are giving their traditions of swiping Facebook and Twitter to their kids. So
swiping is something else, but
well, basically that's one way how you read the headlines by swiping them, and that's also the second thing that as the technology develops, there are new ways how you consume the news. Because one of the ways is when you stand in a line in a shop, you just quickly scroll and check out the headlines. And then there's another way which statistically shows that in the morning and in the evening, your kids, for example, I'm now speaking of, are at the mood that they want to read something longer that they have seen during the day. And as the technology and the platforms develops, the way how they consume the news develops. So I don't think that when we will get older, there will probably be another ways how we won't be there sitting reading a paper for sure.
Good. I think that's a good point to wrap it up with a point of world is changing, right? It has always been changing. It always will be changing. Thanks, guys, for the attention.
Yanis, Rokas, and Tarmo, put it together.